Hi, I'm Brita, the Questioning Quilter, and today's quilt is a super easy, super fun 3-4-1. We're going to get 3 different quilts all out of this Flying Geese block. Wow! Now, as always, I'm going to show them with different color options as well. So here's quilt number 1 in red, white, and blue. This is quilt number 2 with just blue and white. And here is quilt number 3. Now it looks like it's made from 3 different blocks, but nope, that's all from one simple block. So let's get started. So the first thing we have to do is make the Flying Geese block. Now there's lots of ways to make it, but I'm just going to make it with 4 half square triangles that each measure 5 inches by 5 inches. We arrange them like this: flying geese, red goose on the top, blue goose on the bottom, and we sew it together. It looks like this. Now, if you decided to use a different method for making the flying geese, well, go for it. Not a problem. You just have to make sure that when you put the 2 geese together, that it forms a square. Now, you take the size of the square. In this case, it's 9.5 inches. We're going to divide that by 6, which comes out to 1.5833333. We're going to round down to the nearest number that we have on the ruler. So we're going to be cutting 1.5 inches from the center. Now you're going to make 4 cuts going all the way around this block. Now, if you had decided that you want to make your flying geese in a different method, you might not have a center seam, but that's not a problem. We're just going to line this up. So we've got, see the top of that goose? Just going to line that up here with 1.5. We're going to line this up, make sure that this is straight. Make sure this line down here is straight. And then we know that it's square. We're going to cut it up 1.5 inches. And then when we cut here, this is easy because there's always going to be a seam along this side. We're going to cut here. Now we're going to have 9 sub blocks. So look at how easy it is to arrange this. We're just going to flip the 4 corners. So take the upper right corner and flip it 180 degrees. So this red triangle is pointed out. Take this one 180 degrees so the red triangle is pointed out. Now in the bottom, these turned into half square triangles. So it's dark on the bottom, light on the top. Just flip it around. So it's light on the bottom, dark on the top. Flip this one around, light on the bottom, dark on the top, and that's it. Easy peasy, you're all done. Now just a quick little aside, in some of my other videos, I insist that all of these sub blocks be exactly square, which limits the size of your starting block. And that's because if, let's say, we had to move that top center, rotate it 90 degrees, it wouldn't work. But in this case, it doesn't matter because we're just flipping the corners, and that's what makes these kind of blocks so extra special. And as a way to differentiate them, I call these blocks charm pack friendly. Now, when it's sewn together, it looks like this. And it started out with a flying geese, and now it looks like, I don't know, flying ducks? I can't really figure out a name. You tell me what you think this block ought to be called. To make the first quilt, it's very simple. We're just going to set these blocks into rows. Now the first row we're going to set, all of the blocks are going to be upside down. So you just put them all upside down, straight across. Now the second row is going to be right side up. We put these in. Now, as we put these together, you'll start to notice some of these designs appearing. So here's a white Moroccan tile. And the next row is upside down again. And look, you get this interesting design with these blue pieces. So you now have this really nice red row and blue row. And when it's all put together, it looks like this. Now, for those of you who like 2-color quilts, here it is with just blue and white. Now, of course, you can use any 2 colors that you want. Now the second quilt is very similar to the first in layout, except that instead of having the rows alternate between up and down, each block alternates. The first block we have upside down. The second block in the first row, we have right side up. The next block is upside down. And then for the next row, the first one is going to be right side up. Second one will be upside down. And the third one will be right side up again. And look at how we get this fun motif in the middle. And when we put them all together, it looks like this. And of course, for the two color, you get this design. Now, for the third quilt, we have to go back to the overhead because the Flying Goose colors are laid out just a little bit differently. For this color arrangement, we have to use the half square triangle method for making the geese. So just like last time, we're starting with 4 half square triangles that each measure 5 inches by 5 inches. We're going to put them together. Now, it's important to notice that the colors are diagonal each other. So we have the maroon is diagonal the maroon, the blue is diagonal the blue. And it helps if the two colors that you choose here are slightly different values. So you see the maroon is a little bit darker than the blue. We're going to sew it together just like last time. And then just like last time, we're going to cut it into 9 pieces. We're going to cut 1.5 inches from the center all the way around. And then we're going to take the 4 corners and flip them. So you see the method of making the block is exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the way you arranged the colors. I'm going to take the bottom piece and rotate it. And then this one, rotate it. So you've got light to the bottom, dark to the top. And when it's sewn together, it looks like this. So this color layout is necessary for the third quilt, but there's no reason we can't use it for quilts 1 and 2. So let me just really quickly show you how that would look. So if you recall, the first quilt had the rows. The first row was upside down. Second row, right side up. And again, we're getting this Moroccan tile in the middle, but with this little center diamond being 2 color. And the third row is upside down again. And you get this motif is a little busier. And here's what it looks like when it's all put together. Now for quilt number 2, just like last time, the first block is upside down. Second block, right side up. Third block, upside down. Now the second row starts with right side up, then upside down, and right side up again. And when it's all put together, here it is. Now it's much busier than the red, white, and blue one, or the just blue and white one. And some people like it better, and some people don't like it at all. So here's the quilt you've all been waiting for. Now, it's only a tiny bit more involved than the other ones, but don't worry, I'm going to walk you through this. So notice on this block, see this lighter blue half square triangle? That is going to be the center of a motif. So we put 4 blocks together, arranging them all. See how you have to turn it so this half square triangle is to the middle? We do that a 3rd time, and then a 4th time. So it's really easy. We just made a pinwheel here in the middle. So we sew these together. I call this a motif. Now if we take 4 of these motifs and start adding them, you can see how this is really going to look. So 1, 2, and here's the last one. Now, this is why I think these are so magical. You have the pinwheels, you have the Moroccan tile, and you have these little guys that, I don't know, lightning bolts? You tell me. So If you have an odd number of blocks, just like I do, and so you can't continue out with the motifs, well, this is really easy too. Just to add the extra blocks, you notice how the center of the Moroccan tile has this blue diamond? Well, we're just going to take these triangles and line them up. So they're all going to be twisted so this blue diamond is in the center. So this block, it's got the blue triangle up here. So we get the blue triangle on this block, put it together, and then when it's all sewn together, it'll look like this. It is amazing to me how these three designs just showed up because of the color arrangement. If you took just the two-color quilt or the red and blue geese quilt, there's no design. Mind blown. Now, if you liked this, subscribe, ring the bell to get notifications, and check out some of my other videos. Stay well and happy quilting.